So today we're going to look at vocabulary. What's the distinction between grammar and vocabulary? Well, there is a slight one, but what this lecture is going to focus on is how to identify word types. How do you know if a noun's a noun? If you're looking at a text, how do you know what the nouns are? How do you know what the verbs are? How do you know what the adjectives are, etc.? This is a critical skill. If you know how to identify different word types, and there are only 8 in English, then you can rapidly improve your English. Because if you know what the nouns are, then you can ask yourself, okay, do these nouns need to be singular or plural? If you know what the verbs are, you can say, okay, are these verbs past tense, future tense, progressive tense, etc. If you know what the prepositions are, you can ask yourself, are they correct, etc. So one of the first steps to getting to perfection in English is knowing how to identify the different types of words. So here are the different word types in English. There are 8 different word types. There are nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, and pronouns. We can divide these into categories because really there are 2 categories of words in English. There are meaningful words and there are grammatical words. So the meaningful words are words like nouns, they're meaningful, verbs are meaningful, adjectives are meaningful, and adverbs are meaningful. Then there are grammatical words, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, and pronouns. They are not meaningful. They do not have meaning. I'll explain what I mean. Let's identify the meaningful words. What I want you to do is I want you to look at the word, and does the word conjure up an image in your head or not? Okay, so if you're looking at the word and it has meaning, it's a meaningful word. If you're looking at that word and it doesn't really have meaning, you can just see that it's a grammatical word, ignore it. I just want you to identify the meaningful words, okay? Let me disappear. Let's just try this. Let's just try it. Ask yourself, is it meaningful or not? Maybe you can just count them if you want. Let me look at the chat. Yes, good, Maheshwar. Hundreds, millions, years, ticks, earth, tricks, survive, good, blood, diseases, victims, earth, days, diseases, good, note, good, Mehil, that's a tricky one. Thank you, tricky, not sure. Terrible, good. All right, excellent. So look, you didn't really need any instruction from me. You can just look at a text and you can know if the word's meaningful or not. That's excellent. So let's look at the answers here. So these are the meaningful words. Hundreds, millions, years, ticks, survived, earth, sucking, blood, victims, leaving, terrible, diseases, and note. These words have meaning. Those meaningful words will either be, or they will be nouns, verbs, adjectives, or adverbs. They will not be articles, prepositions, conjunctions, or pronouns. They're going to fall into this category. Now I want you to identify the grammatical words, the words that are meaningless. What are the words that are meaningless? Type them into the chat, please. Oh, I missed days. Sorry, days was one. Sorry, my apologies. Good. For, that's meaningless. Of, that's meaningless. Have, yes, in here it's meaningless. There, good. Meaningless, good. From, yes. As, by, terrific. Good, 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 good. On, excellent. Cool. So same thing. You have the ability to look at a text and you know whether the words are meaningless as well. So for, of, have, In this context, have, survive, have is meaningless. On, by, from, there, for, behind, as, are. Meaningless. They don't carry an image. They don't project an image in your mind. Like the difference between for and earth, or the difference between of and blood, the difference between from and days. A day is, sorry, that is a meaningful word. I missed it before. Or the difference between as, meaningless, or disease, meaningful. Cool. So they are the grammatical words, those ones we just looked at. All of these words, for, of, have, on, from, there, behind, as, and are either, they're going to be articles, prepositions, conjunctions, or pronouns. So they're the two categories of words, meaningful words and grammatical words. So what we're going to do in this lesson today is I'm going to teach you how to identify nouns, verbs, and adjectives. It's an essential skill. I've just noticed that a lot of people, when I say, what's this verb? They'll say, it's an adjective. Oh, verb, noun. And then they don't have a clear strategy to identify the type of word. And if you can look at a word and say, that's a noun, that's a verb, that's an adjective, it's a great skill to have. So let's first work out how to identify nouns. There's a mental trick that can make it extremely easy to identify nouns. Firstly, let's define a noun. So a noun is a thing. Nouns are things. If you look around, you can see nouns. There's a cup, there's a phone, there's a book, there's a bin, etc. These are things. These are nouns. There's also nouns that you can't touch, like I don't know, like electricity or air or confidence. These are nouns as well, but they're things essentially. Now there's a little rule here. The word the article the, can come before a noun. So you can identify a noun by adding the before it. Have a look at this text. I've added the word the before every word. I want you in your head to read through this and tell me what the nouns are, okay? Tell me what the nouns are. The ticks, the have, the survived, the earth, the by, the sucking, the blood. Go through and tell me what the nouns are, please. Good. Ticks, victims, earth, days, blood, note, diseases, terrible, the terrible, not quite, not the terrible. It's not a thing. Terrible's not a thing. The victim, that's good. Excellent. Well, that was easy. That was easy. We've identified here. So the ticks, good. The have, no. The survived, no. The on, no. The earth, yes. The by, no. The sucking, no. The blood, yes. The victims, the days, the diseases, the note. Ticks, earth, blood, victims, days, diseases, and note are the nouns in this text. How did we identify them? We identified them by putting the word the before it and seeing if it works or not. If it works, it's a noun. If it doesn't, it's another type of word. That's a cool mental trick. I'm going to show you another text. I want you to count the nouns. Don't identify them. Just run the trick in your head. The word, the word, the word, the word. See how many nouns you can find, okay? Whoever gets it right gets an ice cream. Okay, so Ramalakshmi's found 14. The immune, I don't think that's a noun. The immunity is a noun. The immune is not a noun. Same as triggering. The triggering, not quite. The trigger, yes. I'll tell you that it's more than 14. Okay, Talukdar's got 17. Higher. Good. Ramalakshmi spotted a couple. Diseases and tricks. Should be ticks, I believe. The ticks. Good. So Surya's got 18. Getting closer. Dua's identified ticks, millions, victims, proteins, arachnids, bloodsuckers. Okay, Chirag's got 20. Malakujuna's got 20. Novin's got 20. Maheshwar's got 20. And Prudvi's got 20 as well. Cool. All right. That. Let's see. I got 21. Let's see what I got. Maybe I'm wrong. The ticks, yes. The millions, yes. The years, the victims, the response, the proteins, the bite, the arachnids, the spit, the cells, the bloodsuckers, the blood, the pathogens, the piece, the measures, the effect, the ticks, the humans, the reactions, the disease, the specialists. I'm not sure which one you guys missed. Cells. Okay, so Dua missed cells. And Novin missed effect. And Malakajuna missed bite. Yes. And Maheshwar missed response. No problem. It's something weird's going on. Okay, something weird's going on here. I'll get to it in a second. So cool. We've identified nouns. Excellent. We now know how to identify nouns. The simple trick is you add the word the before the word. If it works, it's a noun. If it doesn't, it's not a noun. Easy. Cool? Good. I need you to practice this, by the way, because it's something that you get better and better at. And then pretty soon you don't have to add the word the. You can just see it and you just know if it's a noun or not. And that's a good thing. Verbs. How do I identify a verb in a sentence? Because that's an essential skill as well. Well, here's the theory, or here's the definition first. A verb is a do word. Okay, a do word like eat, think, say, talk, wander, run, jump, drink, whatever. Do words, right? Now, you can do. You can do. You can run, you can eat, you can think, you can talk, you can sleep, you can wander, you can jump. So you can verb. So the mental trick is add you can before the word to see if it's a verb. Now, it's not quite as easy as a noun because remember that verbs change a lot. So you can have see, like I can see, you can see, but then the verb can change to seeing or saw or seen. So what you have to do first to see if it's a verb is you have to simplify the verb. So if the text says enjoying, well, you can enjoying doesn't work, but this is a verb. So you have to simplify it, you can enjoy. And then yes, you know that this is a verb, but it's just in a different form. Same as damages. Well, if we simplify damages to damage to its most basic form and then add you can damage, yes, it's a verb. Same as developed. This is just in the past tense with the ed. So, sorry, it should be crossed out, develop, but you can develop. So ask yourself or say to yourself, you can, but first you have to simplify the verb. Let's have a look at this one and see what the verbs are. So ticks, you can ticks. No. You can have, you can survive. Here we've got survived. So we simplify it. You can survive. You can on, you can earth, you can buy, you can suck, you can blood, you can from, you can there, you can victims, you can for, you can days, you can often, you can often. This is tempting, but it's unfinished. And if it's unfinished, it's not a verb. You can leave, you can behind, you can terrible, you can diseases, you can as, you can are, you can thank, you can you can note. What are the verbs here, please? Type them into the chat. You can. Yes, you can have, you can survive. Correct. Good, Lewis. Good, Chirag. You can suck. Correct. You can leave. Good. You can often. No, it's an adverb. It's unfinished. It's not complete. You can note something interesting is going on. I'll get to that in a second. Let's have a look. Okie dokie. Let's see. So, whoops. What have I got here? I'll just have to show you. Okay, so what you can have. Yes. Let me just disappear. You can survive. Yes. You can suck. Yes. You can leave. Yes. You can thank. Yes. That's an interesting one because usually we thank you, but you can thank. Thank is the verb. I thanked the person. You can thank. And note, well, here it's a noun, so something's going on there. I'll get to that in a second. I want you to count the verbs. Use that strategy of putting you can before the word to see if it's a verb, but first simplify it. See how many verbs you can find here. Count them. Just count them. Count the verbs. So Ramalakshmi's found 10 verbs. Ashu's found 8. Sujaya's found 11. Feng Huang's found 11. Anil's 11. Akash is 10. Somebody's found 12. Prudvi's 10. Louis found 10. Deepa 10. Shanmunganthan's found 15. Maheshwar's found 15. Interesting. Kodamanchili's actually written them all down. Cool. Let's have a look. 15. Cool. So if you had 15, well done. Let's have a look what they are. So you can evolve, you can figure something out. Usually it needs an object, right? But you can figure it out. So figure is the verb here. You can bite, you can trigger. This is triggering, but if we simplify it, you can trigger somebody, yes. You can spit, you can evolve, you can manipulate, you can suck, you can transmit, you can measure, you can have, you can desire, you can bite, you can lead, you can argue. So they are the 15. There were some tricky ones there, like figure and trigger, for example, a tricky. Cool. So what have I done to identify these verbs? I ask myself, first I look at the words, I simplify them, and I put you can before it. So you can evolve, you can trigger, you can spit, you can evolve, you can manipulate, transmit, desire, bite, lead, and argue. Sweet. We now have a method to identify verbs. Something weird is going on though, because sometimes when I look at a word, it could be a verb, but it could be a noun, and it sort of makes it a bit harder. So nouns and verbs, a noun and a verb can look exactly the same. So for example, think of the word change. Okay, I can change something and the change was significant. So you can only know if it's a verb or a noun from the context of the sentence. In other words, change and change can be a noun or a verb. It's written exactly the same. It just depends on the sentence, whether it's functioning as a verb or functioning as a noun. This is weird. Have a look at these examples. So here, ticks bite humans. Here's the tick biting the human. So this is the verb. Ticks bite humans, subject, verb, object. Here, the bite here's the bite, as a noun. So nouns and verbs are sort of, well, it just depends on the sentence whether it's a verb or a noun, right? This is going to test you. Find the verbs that could be nouns and the nouns that could be verbs. I want you to look at this text. And first, let me give you a hint. The hint is find the verbs first. Read through and find the verbs. So by adding you can word, if it you can run, you can sleep, etc. If yes, then see if it can also be a noun by adding the. See if you can find the words in this text that could be nouns or could be verbs. Okay? Whoops, I missed a noun in the previous one that was spit. I apologize. Good, Mehul's found one. Tick. So the tick, and you can also tick something. Good. Prudvi's found bite, the bite, and you can also bite something. Good. Kodamanchili, cause, the cause. You can cause an avalanche. Excellent. Allergic, you can allergic? No. Diagnose, you can diagnose, but the diagnosis. The result, you can result. Good. The learn, you can learn, but the learning. Not quite, Sonal. Prudvi, the effect, and you can affect. Good. The reaction, and you can reaction. No, you can't reaction. You can react. That's the verb. Contact, well done, Dua. The contact, and you can contact the contact. Change and change, good. Development, you can development. No, you can develop. That's the verb, but development is the noun. So this is a bit harder. You can induce, yes, but induction is the noun. Red, well, that's neither a noun or a verb. Itch, oh, you can itch something. Do you itch or do you scratch? Shock, yes, good, Dua, well done. You can shock and the shock. Good, bite, you can bite and the bite. The loss and you can lose, good, yes, so that doesn't function as both. This is hard, good on you for having a go. This is a real trick. Is it that important? Well, it's important to know. It's important to know because sometimes it can confuse you if you're looking at something and you're thinking, is that a noun or a verb? Well, bite or bite, it depends. It's just an important thing to sort of understand. Here are the words that could be a verb or could be a noun. Okay, so let's look at them. So you can bite and the bite. Good. You can cause and the cause. You can affect somebody and the effect is significant. The tick bit me and the teacher ticked my homework. So that could be a noun or a verb. Contact. The contact is in the office. You should contact him. So noun and verb. The increase happened overnight. It increased by 17%. So it could be a noun or a verb. The result was outstanding. It resulted in everybody losing their job. The change or a change as a noun and change as a verb. Yes, it can. Tick as a noun and tick as a verb. Bite as a noun and bite as a verb. Result. Range, the range, and you can range. The itch and you can itch. The shock and you can shock. The bite and you can bite. It's hard. That's a real mind-bending, tricky thing to think about, but it's just something to be aware of when you're identifying words. Let's not spend too much longer on it because it's also pretty confusing. Cool. One more thing. Now that we've identified these tricky words that could be nouns or could be verbs, I want you to identify in the context of the sentence, is it functioning as a noun or is it functioning as a verb? So look at these ones, they're numbered. Just write number 1, noun, or number 1, verb. Is it a noun or a verb depending on the sentence here? I'll give you a help. I'll give you a hand for the first one. So the first one is, only recently has it been known that tick bites? Noun. Please do the rest. Good. Number 2 is a verb. Three is a verb. Good. Well done. Good. 5 is a noun. Excellent. It can't be both. It can't be both. In context, it has to be either a verb or a noun. In the context of the sentence. Good, 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 good. Good, well done. It's hard. What you need to do is ask yourself, I'm sorry I'm doing this lesson. Start off, number 14, anaphylactic shock. Now, is it doing something or is it a thing? Is it doing something or is it a thing? Cool. All right, let's have a look. Yes, good, Prudvi. All right. Let me appear. Let's have a look. Right. Now, here, to identify if bites is a noun or a verb, we need to sort of ask ourselves, is it doing or is it a thing? So tick bites. Well, in my mind, that's a thing. Number 2, even cause, well, that's definitely a do. That's a verb. Are affected, that's a do. That's a verb. And as tick and human contact, so this is a do. This is a noun. Let me just show you. So let me disappear. So bites here is a noun. Cause is a verb. Affected is a verb. Tick here in this context is a noun. Contact is a noun. Increases, verb. As a result, noun. Change, noun. Climate change is a thing. And habitat loss. Depending on the tick, noun, species, and the person, bites, noun, can result, verb, in allergic reactions, ranging, verb, from an itch, noun, an itch, to anaphylactic shock, noun, thing. Tick bites, thing, might also induce the development, blah, 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 blah. If you didn't get 100% there, don't worry. This is something that you need to practice. And I highly recommend that you do practice this. It's a very, very handy skill, but it does take a while to develop that skill. Because what's happening here As you develop the skill in identifying words, you're actually making the meaning more apparent in your mind. Because what begins to happen after a while when you begin to say, yes, noun, verb, you can almost feel whether it's a thing or a do word. It sort of has an associated meaning. It has an associated feeling with it when you're looking at it. This is an extremely good thing for two reasons. When you're reading something or listening to something, you're feeling whether it's a thing or a do word, the language becomes clearer. And when you're speaking or writing, again, you're writing that verb and you're feeling it. And actually, when somebody else reads it, it becomes more apparent to them. So this skill, I think, is massively important for language learning, but it requires practice. So we've now looked at how to identify meaningful words. We've covered off nouns, we've covered off verbs, and we've seen a bit of a weird, tricky thing where the noun could be a noun, could be a verb, but depending on the context, it functions as a noun or a verb. Tough. Now we move on to the third one, identifying adjectives. Let's identify adjectives. So here's the definition. An adjective describes a noun. An adjective describes a noun. It describes the thing, right? So if I have a phone, there's my noun, there's my thing. How can I describe this? Well, it's black, it's new, it's shiny, it's expensive. These are the adjectives that describe the thing, describe the noun. So first, to find an adjective, you need to find the noun. Then you find the description, and the description's the adjective. Now, just keep in mind that not all nouns will have an adjective. So first things first, let's go back. I want you to find the nouns, not the adjectives. Find the nouns first. First, we need to find the nouns, then we find the adjectives. Find the nouns by adding the. So let's do this. Please type into the chat all of the nouns in this paragraph. Good. Meat, lovers, region, central, oh, not quite. The central, not quite, Prithvi. The United States, good. The region, the regions, the United States, good. The lifestyle, excellent. The vegetarian, yes, could be a person, good. The lifestyle. The unwanted, not quite. It's unfinished. It's incomplete. The allergic, not quite. The allergy, yes, but not the allergic. The life, well, here it's life-threatening, so it's different, but sure. The reaction, good. The side, good. Good. The threats. All right. Cool. So first things first, to find an adjective first, we need to find the nouns. Well, here they are. We have the meat, the lovers, the regions, the United States. Well, here it's sort of two words but one noun, the United States. The vegetarian could be a person. You can think of maybe I'm biased, but I think of a skinny guy, the vegetarian. The lifestyle, the meat, the side, the reaction. So we found the nouns. Cool. Fine. Now find the adjectives that describe those nouns. So please type into the chat, what are the adjectives here that describe the nouns? Good. Southern. Southern is one. Excellent. Yes, vegetarian is also an adjective for lifestyle. It's describing the lifestyle, a vegetarian lifestyle. Unwanted, allergic, life-threatening. Good. Excellent. Yes, cool. Good stuff. That Southern, adjective, yes, correct. So let's have a look at the adjectives. We know what the nouns are. We know that adjectives describe nouns. So let's find the adjectives. Here they are here. Central region, southern region. Now these are two adjectives before the noun, but that's fine. Central region, southern region. Cool. We found one. Now, lifestyle's the noun. What kind of lifestyle? A vegetarian lifestyle. This word here is actually describing the noun. Cool. Then we've got side. We've got an unwanted side. Fine. Adjective, noun. Excellent. Here we've got a reaction. What type of reaction? Well, we've got a life-threatening allergic reaction. So now we've identified the adjectives in this paragraph. And again, the more you do this, the more you practice, the more you're able to just look at it and it comes to you immediately, and you don't need the tricks anymore. It's like, I guess it's like training wheels on your bicycle. When you first learn to ride the bicycle, you have the training wheels on. And then after a while, your mum or your dad takes them off, and then you're like, whoa, and you can do it yourself. It's like this with the language. The more you practice, the more it becomes immediately apparent what type of word it is. There's something weird going on though. I'm sorry, there's always something weird with language. A noun can act as an adjective. What? Meat lovers, blood levels, tick bite. A noun can act as an adjective. So if we look at these examples like meat lovers, blood levels, and tick bite, we've got noun with noun, noun with noun, like two nouns together. We've got two nouns together. But when two nouns come together, like meat lovers, it turns into an adjective. It actually functions as an adjective. So although it's now noun, in the context, meat lovers, blood levels, tick bite, it actually starts to function as an adjective. It describes the other noun, even though it's a noun itself. Weird. I want you to look at this paragraph and find the nouns, adjectives. I'm going to give you a hint. To find the noun adjectives, first you need to find the nouns. Okay, so go through, use your understanding of using the word to find the nouns. If two nouns appear together, the first noun might be a sneaky adjective. This is going to test you. Here we go. Find the nouns. If two appear together, the first one's going to be the adjective. I think there are 4 in here. There are 4. Whoa, Novin's got it already. Deepa's got it already. We've got one of them. Excellent. Noun, noun. We want to find noun, noun. Not adjective, noun. We're looking for noun, noun. So not critical data, not best way. We want to find noun, not integrated methods, because integrated is an adjective. We want noun plus noun. Good, Anil. Good, Maheshwar. Good, Sujaya. Yes. Oh, very good, very good. Sweet. Good stuff. Good stuff. Best. The best. No, oh, you're kind of right there, Sadath, but best here is an adjective. Good thinking, though. If we say the best, you are the best. Yeah, best can function as a noun, but usually it's like the best team or the best basketballer. So it usually is an adjective, but good thinking. Good thinking. Language is always tricky and there's always like little rules that don't quite make sense. So here we go. So what we understand what adjectives are now. That's cool. They come before the noun, or sometimes they come after the noun. That's fine. But we know that they describe the noun. Sometimes you have two nouns and the first noun is in fact an adjective. Well, first of all, let's find the nouns, so challenges, the way, the knowledge, the gaps, the data, the evidence, the methods, the human, the bites, the hair, the ticks, the blood, the disease. These are the nouns. It's cool, that's fine. We know how to identify them. If we look closely, we can see here knowledge gaps, human bites, hair, ticks, and blood disease. So when we have noun, noun, the first noun functions as an adjective like knowledge gaps, human bites, hair, ticks, and blood disease. So if you had those four, you are now a genius, a linguistics genius. This is, no, in all seriousness, this is hard. This is hard, but this is the kind of level of detail that you need to get to have perfect English, to really eliminate errors when you're speaking or writing, and to really increase your ability to understand written text and spoken English. You need to drill down to this level of detail. Let's recap what we have learned, okay? So first of all, we learned about that there are different word types in English. We learned that there are 8 word types: nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, and pronouns. These are the 8 types of words. Cool. Then we learned that these can fit into 2 categories. We learned that there are meaningful words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and we learned that there are grammatical words, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns. And when you look at a noun, an image appears. You can feel it. It has meaning. But when you look at an article like a or the, it has no meaning. We then learned how to identify nouns we learned that a noun is a thing. We learned that the can come before the noun. Therefore, you can identify a noun by adding the to it. We learned how to identify verbs. We learned that a verb is a do word. You can do, so you can verb. So therefore, you can add you can before the word to see it's a verb. However, you have to simplify it first. So you can't enjoying, but you can enjoy. So we simplify it. Then we add you can. Then we know it's a verb or not. We learned that there's something weird, that a noun and a verb can look exactly the same, like change, right? The change or you can change. They both work. And you can only know it's a verb or a noun from the context of the sentence. For example, ticks bite humans, verb, or the bite can be itchy, noun. Then we learned how to identify adjectives. An adjective describes a noun. So if you find the noun, you find the description. The description is the adjective. Not all nouns have adjectives. That's cool. Then we found there was something weird whereby a noun can act as an adjective, like meat lovers, blood levels, and tick bite. These are 2 nouns together. The first noun functions as an adjective. That's the end. Please don't hurt me. I'm sorry. That was a lot. That was a lot. That was dense. That was a lot of information that requires practice. I don't expect you just to get that. So Mayo's got a great question. Mayo asked, how can we practice more? What you should do right now, while it's still fresh in your mind, you should go find any piece of writing in English. I recommend sciencedaily.com for scientific writing, which is very similar to the PT or the IELTS, etc. Get out a pen, look at the writing, ask yourself those tricks. Find the nouns, find the verbs, find the adjectives. That's all. See if you can find the nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Don't worry about the nouns, verbs functioning as one another or the 2 nouns. That's fine. Try and practice this now, though, while it's fresh in your mind. This I will upload to YouTube immediately in the Core Skills channel, so you can check it out. But do put this into practice, okay? And that's all. I'm going to nick off, but yes, you'll see this in YouTube in about a minute, 10 minutes, cool? All right. Nice to see you, and I will see you soon, okay? Let me stop recording and I'll